Hello there, this is the Blue Wizard. So, today we're talking about hypnosis and lucid dreaming and meditation and a bunch of things all at the same time, including reality shifting. I wanted to make a small correction to yesterday's video, and that's that, reality shifting is new, and I've only just researched it, so it's hard to say whether it's just self-hypnosis. Like, a lot of reality shifting indoctrinations, as far as I can tell, also include some form of lucid dreaming. So what seems to be happening is that they seem to be relaxing their bodies using meditative steps, then using hypnosis to try to strengthen the possibility of having a vivid lucid dream. Then, by using hypnotic manipulation methods within the lucid dream, they seem to be entering into a stage 3 hypnosis that has the same vividness and the same controllability as the lucid dream does. If so, this could be categorized as a completely new form of hypnosis. It could be something completely different than the way just stage 3 hypnosis works. It certainly takes a lot longer to achieve the state known as shifting. So this isn't me saying like, ooh, shifting is just hypnosis. It is partially hypnosis at least, but it seems to also have elements of lucid dreaming within it as well. When I tried it, I got into a very powerful stage 2 hypnosis. That's where I got. And I'll explain the hypnotic stages here in a second. But, I got into a place bordering on stage 3. I wasn't sleepy, though. I wasn't using the sleep elements of reality shifting. So there was no chance of me lucid dreaming because I wasn't incorporating sleep at all into the equation. So there's that. I think that they are either achieving lucid dreaming enhanced by meditation and hypnosis, or they're obtaining hypnosis enhanced by lucid dreaming. But it doesn't really matter because they're still entering a deep trance-like state. We know the properties of it. We know you can induct yourself into it like hypnosis and lucid dreaming. So you're writing scripts, you're writing inductions, so we already know how that stuff works. Or at least I do. I already know how those things work. And you're having the experience, and then you're coming out of the experience, when you either release it, in the case of hypnosis, or in the case of, lucid dreaming, when you're getting too excited or too tired to continue on. So, yeah. The incorporation of the sleep element is not something that I had noted before, but yes, lucid dreaming elements are in fact in place with reality shifting. So much more experimentation needs to be done. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of therapists who are interested in stuff. Most people who are interested in hypnosis are kind of wackos on the internet like me. There's not a lot of people who are actual scientists these days who are interested in hypnosis. Most of them are interested in dialectical therapy. And why not? For the purposes of therapy, dialectical therapy works just fine. But for the purposes of experimenting with the mind, I'd argue that fucking around with hypnotic states is really cool. And, again, you can use hypnosis to achieve so many changes in habit, and this idea of having this master mind state, this vantage point from which you can change anything you want to by yourself automatically with the assistance of your subconscious, is a really neat and alluring idea. So in the pursuit of that alchemist's gold of being able to instantaneously transmute your mind whichever way you want to, I'm going to keep experimenting with mind states, even though fucking dialectical therapy is good. If you're in dialectical therapy, if you're in awareness therapy or whatever, fine, that's great, but hypnosis, though. So, okay. Today we're going to talk about hypnosis, the different stages of hypnosis, and generally how hypnosis is performed. This is not going to be me inducing you into hypnosis. I'm not doing that today. Maybe the next video I make about this subject, perhaps I'll be inducing you into hypnosis or creating a hypnotic induction video. But the thing is that hypnotic induction, when done to somebody else, like if you're going to be a hypnotist to somebody else, really helps if you have the other person helping you write the script. Like having the patient or the subject actually have input on the hypnotic script that you're going to be using is a really valuable resource. So I'd hate to make something that isn't going to be useful for you. And so any hypnotic induction that I do is going to have to be very general. You know what I mean? And then there's all sort of things like, do I put binaural beats in the background to aid in the process? That's another thing that was fairly common with the reality shifting stuff, is using binaural stimulation. So, yeah, if I were to make a script, I don't know what form that would take for you guys. I guess comment down in the comment section below what kind of, hypnotic induction you would like to do, what kind of script you want, what kind of changes you want to make in your life. And maybe I can cook something up that'll work for you. What kind of imagery do you find pleasant or soothing? That would be important to know when trying to create a working hypnotic script. Okay, though. Stage 1 hypnosis. Stage 1 hypnosis is basically defined by time dilation. You look off at something or you're entertained, you get preoccupied with something, and a lot more time passes than you think it will. This is your brain and body basically calming down into a state of relaxation and deep focus, which is all meditation and hypnosis really is states of relaxation and deep focus. But hypnosis especially requires these two elements: relaxation, focus. Usually you're focusing on one thing, like video games or lines on the side of the road or whatever. But stage 1 hypnosis. Now, suggestions can be done in stage 1 hypnosis, but if you're with a hypnotist and they're trying to help you get into more suggestible states so that you can do deeper levels of hypnosis, they're probably not going to be satisfied with stage 1, and most of the suggestions that they make in stage 1 are going to be to attempt to get you to stage 2 and to build you up till that point, because stage 2 is kind of the best stage for hypnotic suggestion. I'll explain why when I talk about getting into stage 2 and what stage 3 even does. So, yes. Stage 1 is basically the relaxation and focus stage of entering into hypnosis. It's baby's first hypnosis. Anybody can do it. Just stare off at something pretty or neat for a while and breathe nice and deep. And trust me, you'll be in... time will have passed in no time. Here's what you do. Light a candle. Look at the candle. Keep looking at it. Take some deep breaths. Right? While looking at the candle. Now, you don't want to be too close to the candle because you don't want the light to damage your eyes or whatever. But yeah, just look at the candle and breathe real deep. You are allowed to blink. You want to put yourself into a position where none of your limbs are crossing or touching, and you are just trying to feel your body getting heavy and relaxed while staring at the candle and breathing deeply. You will be in stage 1 hypnosis in no time. Alternatively, you could play a really addictive video game while in a very comfy chair. Time will pass quickly, trust me. Or if you're on a road trip, stare at the lines on the side of the road, or the power poles, or the trees, or whatever. Watch them go. Within 20 to 30 minutes, if you've paid attention to one thing long enough, you'll definitely be hypnotized. At least at stage 1 hypnosis. Now, suggestions at this stage? I don't know. If you wanted to say an affirmation or think a positive thought very strongly after you notice that stage 1 hypnosis has happened, something like, I have power over my mind. I don't know. It depends on you. It depends on what you want. Or even something like, I am in a safe place. That can be helpful sometimes, just to remind yourself, like, I am in a safe place. Even at stage 1 hypnosis, if you're trying to get into even deeper states of hypnosis, you might say something to the effect of, I will go deeper into my mind, or I will master my consciousness, or, you want to do I will statements. You want to have positive affirmations, and you don't want them to be open-ended. You don't want I could, or I can, or anything like that. I mean, I can be useful, but you definitely don't want to use I will not do this. Your subconscious mind does not understand nots. So I will not stop smoking is I will stop smoking, or I, or no, I will not smoke is I will smoke, right? I will not overeat is I will overeat, because it doesn't understand not as this conditional thing, that it doesn't understand how it works. So using knots in affirmation is dumb. When I was learning hypnosis, somebody said never the knots, as in never say not when you're trying to come up with these suggestions. You always want strong I will, I am statements. You know what I mean? I am is great. I am in control of my mind. I am safe. I am ready. I am focused. That kind of thing. So I am statements are really strong. I will statements are pretty strong, but don't use not if you can avoid it. If you're trying to do something like stopping smoking, you want to hypnotize yourself to say something to the effect of, I will make healthy choices. I will make healthy choices. I will take care of my body. My body is sacred. My body is precious to me. That kind of thing. You're just trying to get yourself to be the kind of person who has the willpower necessary to not smoke. If you make not smoking important enough in your brain, then your brain will prioritize it. So the goal is not really to say, I will not smoke, because your subconscious doesn't understand that. It says, oh, I will smoke, something to do with smoking, so now you're thinking of smoking. So you don't want to put that in a hypnotic suggestion. What you want to do is, I will make healthy choices, right? I will take care of my body. The things I put into my body will be healthy things. That's what you're trying to do. Is not, you're not trying to negate the behavior so much as you are trying to build new behaviors. You could even do, I will go on runs, or I will go on walks to relax myself. That kind of thing. A relaxation can be found through exercising. A relaxation can be found through, whatever. You're trying to build positive habits to replace the initial habit. It's much more easy to get addicted to something positive in place of something negative than it is to actually break a negative habit. Now, you can use visualization and negative reinforcement to break habits. If you really, really, really want your brain to not do the smoking, you could imagine the cigarette. Basically, you could you're doing the hypnosis. You can imagine yourself smoking, and then you can imagine the cigarette becoming a worm and crawling down your throat, or tasting like some horrible food that you really don't like that makes you sick to your stomach. If you associate cigarettes with invading forces, with your body reacting sickly to it, you'll eventually associate cigarettes with sickness, and they'll start to gross you out. The same goes with food that isn't healthy for you. If you start imagining that food crawling with worms, or coming out of a cow's ass, or whatever, you'll eventually have a negative sort of disdain for the thing that you're trying to resist, that you create in your mind, a sort of natural disgust. And that disgust can definitely lead you away from the thing. Now, while it's generally true that negative phenomena in the brain seems to hold more power than positive phenomena, hypnotists don't usually like to use negative reinforcement on somebody, because the idea that the only way to accomplish something is to punish yourself is not the best. We would much rather build healthy habits than we would be shitting on the habit that you have now, especially because just shitting on the habit that you have now doesn't replace the old negative habit with anything. You started smoking because you either wanted to look cool or because you were stressed out about something. So how do we make you more confident without the cigarettes? How do we make you feel better or more relaxed without the cigarettes? So if we're not replacing the need that the cigarettes are currently fulfilling, then sure, you're not smoking anymore, but who knows what that's going to get replaced with, So when trying to change a habit, it's better to use positive reinforcement, even though positive reinforcement is slower and building positive habits is slower than breaking negative ones. I suppose the exception would be if you were doing something that's so bad for you that you need to stop it like ASAP. Like if you have a really bad negative pattern or a negative thought pattern or something, and you're like, I need to change this like right now, then maybe negative reinforcements for you, tentatively. I mean, I'm not a therapist. I know a lot of the things that the therapists know, but I'm not a therapist. But even then, if I was going to be your hypnosis guru or your hypnosis shaman, I'd need to know the specific negative habit, what the urgency is to actually fixing it, your level of hypnotic competence, because theoretically we could enforce a positive habit and also punish a negative one at the same time. Like, it's possible to create hypnotic states that intricate, but only with somebody who's really good at doing hypnosis. So I would have to know the level of the person that we're even talking about. So that's the reason why, it's kind of hard to do hypnotic scripts for people you don't know. I remember my hypnotist, back when I used to go to a hypnotist, was very interested in knowing about me, the things I found relaxing and the things that I found stressful, before doing the hypnotic induction, just to make sure that the way it was done was a way that would actually be received well by my subconscious. Okay, so moving on to stage 2 hypnosis. God, I got lost off track there. But yeah, stage 1 hypnosis, relaxation and focus. Stage 2 hypnosis. So, in stage 2 hypnosis, you're getting into visualizations. All right? You're starting to use visualizations like that warm example I just had, are positive visualizations, like imagining yourself in a relaxing place like an open field with white fluffy clouds and maybe some flowers swaying, maybe some light bird chirping off in the distance. Maybe you even see a bird fly by now and then. You know what I mean? You're trying to create a place where you can continue that relaxation and focus in your mind. You're trying to get deeper in. At this point, your body should be in this very warm, deep, relaxed state where you don't have to think about it. You can leave your body behind and your body will be okay. So in stage 2 hypnosis, you're really detaching from the outward experience of being in your external body or external mind state, and really starting to look inward to your internal state. So stage 2 hypnosis is all about getting you there. Counting is a very common induction method at this stage, counting backwards from 10. And with every count, you're going to go ahead and do a deep breath. 10, 9, 8, and so on. So you do that with your eyes closed, your limbs not touching one another, and this would be after stage 1. So this would be after you have that nice relaxation state where your body gets all heavy and limp, and you're getting ready to leave it behind and focus on the things that need your intention inward. So yeah, That's stage 2 hypnosis. Stage 2 hypnosis can have sounds and visualizations, smells, and all kinds of things, depending on the level of the stage 2 hypnosis. Visualizing a peaceful or calm place where you can work on the things that you want to is the most common feature of stage 2 hypnosis. Now, people sometimes use stage hypnosis, stage 2 hypnosis for memory retrieval. So some people will use stage 2 hypnosis to try and find an old memory. Memory retrieval is weird, though, because it's very easy when people are trying to recall something to implant false memories in their heads. So you have to be very, very careful with that. But yes, you can go to places you have been before in stage 2 hypnosis. You can, because you're essentially using your memory to create the places that you're going in stage 2 hypnosis anyway. Now, the thing is with stage 2 hypnosis is that you will always be aware of the fact, you will always be very aware of the fact that you are hypnotized. You'll be aware of every suggestion consciously. You can snap out of the state almost instantaneously, although you really should really should go through the proper method of waking up from hypnosis, which is counting upwards from the backward state that you did before, while slowly starting to become more and more aware of your body, more and more aware of your eyelids. And then once you get to 2 or 3, you're going to kind of open your eyes and say, I'm awake now, or something like that. So some people clap, some people snap, some people have a lot of things that are the final thing to release the technique, but you're always going to want to do that when waking up from hypnosis. You never just want to snap out of hypnosis, because you could, a lot of the feelings and things that you're experiencing from the state that are very powerful could kind of stay with you even though you're not in a trance anymore, which is sort of what happened to me yesterday. I was snapped out of the deep hypnotic state that I was in by a phone call, and the energy that I had built up during the hypnotic state stayed with me in my regular consciousness and created this almost high speed effect. No bueno. You don't want to do that. You always screw the phone call. You want to go through the proper method of releasing the technique, and coming back when you do hypnosis. You don't want to have weird traits from the hypnotic state that you've created to relax yourself in your regular world. If you've been visualizing butterflies flying around, you don't want them flying around you for the rest of the day in your regular state, which isn't something that happens commonly with stage 2 hypnosis, but still, I would never just snap somebody out of hypnosis. You always want them to count up from 1 and slowly breathe again and become more aware of their body, and then slowly but surely, when they're finally ready, opening their eyes and moving about, and then saying or doing something that definitively, okay, you're back now. 3, 2, 1, and you're back. You can go ahead and open your eyes slowly. Yes. So you definitely want to bring somebody out of hypnosis properly. The idea that oh, okay, well, I'm done. Yeah, no, please don't. Please don't. That's probably why we have so much derealization going on with these reality shifters and stuff, where they're staying in these states after they're done with their trances, because they're probably not leaving the techniques properly. So definitely when you're done with a state, you want to reground yourself once again in reality. This is also a magical thing. Before a ritual, you're supposed to prepare, and after a ritual, you're supposed to prepare for re-entry. So this is as much a ritual magic thing. It's sometimes called grounding and clearing, with grounding in magic being the state that you would do before, where you become more aware of where you are and what's going on before you do a magic. Whereas clearing is more erasing the chalkboard, clearing out what you've done magically so that you have a clean slate next time to start from, and so that you can come back to awareness and reality properly. But yeah, so you're going to want to go ahead and ground yourself or clear yourself after a hypnotic state. You're going to want to make sure that you come back properly. That's not to say that if you leave a hypnotic state incomplete, that you will never snap out of it. You will. Your mind will go back to normal just fine eventually, but you don't want this weird prolonged transition. You just want to go back to normal immediately. So why not leave hypnosis properly when you're going to? So then this gets us to stage 3 hypnosis. Stage 3 hypnosis is kind of controversial among hypnotists. A lot of hypnotists, especially hypnotherapists, do not believe that it's necessary for therapy. Almost every suggestion that can be made in stage 3 can be made in stage 2. And so stage 2 is where the hypnotherapists like to hang out. That's the depth of the water that they like to go into. It also becomes harder for hypnotherapists to exactly see or control what's going on, because in stage 3 hypnosis, the subject tends to become less responsive in terms of actually talking to you, because they're so deep into it that like it's hard to get responses out of the subject at that point. Also, stage 3 hypnosis, you won't remember the hypnotic state if you're not told to, because neither your subconscious mind or conscious mind are properly logging in the memory of the state itself, which means you'll wake up from the state and have a very high chance of forgetting it, like a dream, which is something that most hypnotists don't want. Most hypnotists actually want you to remember what you did and the progress that you made during the actual state. The only exception to this would probably be if you were hypnotizing somebody with a painful memory or something, and you were having them explore that painful memory, and you were trying to have them reframe their thinking about it. You might not want them to actually remember the suggestion. Or if the suggestion is something that they consciously know that they need but are subconsciously very resistant to, and you don't want that resistance to negatively frame the way that the session went, perhaps you could use stage 3 hypnosis and its forget me not kind of status. But most people don't see this forgetting aspect of stage 3 hypnosis, this natural forgetful tendency, as a positive thing. Most therapists see it as a negative thing. But why would you want to do stage 3 hypnosis? Why? Because it's more powerful than stage 2 hypnosis. It's better in every way. The things you see, you actually see. The things you hear, you actually hear. The things you smell, you actually smell. You're not just imagining. You're not just imagining. You are there. Stage 3 hypnosis is like an indefinite lucid dream that you can control the length, duration, and intensity of. Stage 3 hypnosis is very powerful. Very, very powerful stuff. It is the most powerful hypnotic state. The two problems with it are thusly. One, you have to go through states 1, 2, 3, whatever, to get into stage 3 hypnosis. So it takes a little bit longer. 2, one of the only ways to get there is automatic triggering, which is where you create an induction that is a word, phrase, or other thing, symbol, whatever, that will get you in there automatically. So basically use stage 2 hypnosis to set up what the trigger is going to be, to get you into this stage 3 hypnosis. So you have to go through the hour and a half long process of getting somebody into stage 3 hypnosis, and then start building an automatic trigger, and then that will reliably make it so that you can get into stage 3 hypnosis each time, much quicker than you could before, but still it's a real pain in the ass to set up a stage 3 hypnosis. But if you are a master of stage 3 hypnosis, then you have an automatic dreamland that you can do pretty much whatever you want in, just like the reality shifters want. So, yeah. Also, suggestions are a lot more powerful in stage 3. You can basically, every suggestion you can do in stage 2, you can do in stage 3, except it's that much more palpable, which means that you can do really strong positive and negative reinforcements, because you're able to create much more complex, much more vivid kind of vision states, trance states. Another thing that stage 3 is really good at doing, I mean stage 2 can do this as well, but stage 3 is better at it, is creating trance overlay states. So basically what a trance is, I'm going to clarify this, a trance is basically a program that alters the way that you act in normal everyday life. So in a trance, your eyes are open, you're able to move around and stuff, but the way that you feel, think, and are changes significantly from the way that you normally are. Now sometimes you might use a trance to participate in a habit or a hobby that you normally don't. Maybe you don't normally work out because it's painful, so you'll create a trance where you can't physically feel pain, or where pain just doesn't bother you and create stress for you, where you feel safe while you're working out, so that way you can work out without being afraid, and without having pain affect you. Hypnosis is also used, trances are also used during childbirth sometimes to help remove the pain of pregnancy, or to lessen at least the fear that that instills. So trances are really good. Theoretically, every time you're hypnotized, you're in a trance because your mind is changing. But when we're talking about trances, for the most part, we're talking about people walking around and actually doing stuff differently, actively being awake and conscious, but differently than they usually are, because they're still in a hypnotic state. I like to use the term hypnotic state to refer to being hypnotized, and trance to refer to the changes that one creates during a hypnotic session where you have one moving around. Just because the pop culture conception of what a trance is much more easy to explain to somebody who you're trying to teach about trances. But so yeah, a trance is this altered state of being, and it's very, very easy to create and activate trances in stage 3 hypnosis, because you have virtually no mental resistance anymore. There's no, but if I act different, I could be embarrassed, or if I act different, what if it doesn't work? Or, none of the doubt that you get with stage 2 hypnosis is there during stage 3 hypnosis, because you're so deep into it that you're gonna believe the stance you create, pretty much guaranteed. So I'd say the only real danger of stage 3 hypnosis is that it's so powerful that you could theoretically create very quick results. And if you're using hypnosis poorly, if your script isn't good, or if your recommendations and suggestions to your subconscious mind are negative in nature, you could very easily, very quickly suffer a negative result. Most of the time, hypnosis is used like medicine, where they want to observe, okay, so we made this suggestion, it worked this way, okay, so next time we'll adjust it this way, or we can make it more powerful this way. They want it to be a gradual process rather than an immediate one. With stage 3 hypnosis, the changes can be very, very fast. We're talking going from 3 months to a couple of weeks between the speed of stage 2 and stage 3 hypnosis. That's not always the case, but it is the case a lot of the time. And so it kind of freaks hypnotists out to use such deep and powerful hypnosis. Also, when your patient is likely to forget the session, they may be more skeptical of whether or not anything actually happened in the session, or whether or not you did something that they might not trust you with. They don't remember you talking to them in the session, so they might be under the impression, like, did he implant some suggestion I didn't want him to? Because they don't remember the session. Now, there is an easy fix for this. When you're coming out of the session, you just say to yourself, I will remember what I experienced. I will remember my experience. Or you just do a little quick overview of the experience before you're snapped out of it, and you will remember what happened during your stage 3 hypnosis experience. It's exactly like the regular hypnosis. Coming out of it is very similar. It might take a little bit longer, but it's very similar to stage 2 hypnosis when it comes to coming out of it. The only difference, the only addition is you should definitely tell yourself to remember your experience, if that's something that you want. These are your experiences, these are your mind states. Now, can you do stage 3 hypnosis as a self-hypnotic practitioner? I.e., if you're doing self-hypnosis, if you're doing hypnotherapy on yourself, Can you use stage 3 hypnosis? Sure, why not? In fact, if you have doubts that your hypnotherapist is implanting suggestions that you don't want, or whatever, if you're worried about that kind of thing with stage 3 hypnosis, then by all means, do it on yourself. Why not? What I would advise is, again, that you learn what you're doing before you do it. Because stage 3 hypnosis is so strong. Now, do I believe that reality shifters are doing stage 3 hypnosis? When they're not lucid dreaming, yes. I think most of them are either ending up lucid dreaming, or most of them are doing self-hypnosis level 3. What I will say is that the extended period of time that they're taking, and the incorporation of sleep as an element or whatever, is kind of a wild card. So it's interesting, because where they would end up by hypnotically altering lucid dreaming to be indefinite is more or less where they would end up by doing really good stage 3 hypnosis. So it's sort of a moot point at that point, because by the time you get to stage 3 hypnosis or lucid dreaming, you can achieve a complete conversation with yourself. So you can get to the point with stage 3 hypnosis, especially if you're good at meditation, where you're able to give as good as you get and are able to absorb the information coming from your subconscious mind at the same time that you're putting out information. So it's definitely possible to establish an equilibrium with stage 3 hypnosis that is similar to the powerful conversation going on in a lucid dream. The main difference between the two is the time limit. Lucid dreaming lasts for 20 minutes in REM sleep. You can do it maybe 2 or 3 times a night, if you're really skilled at it, or if you've like fucked up your sleep schedule into polyphasic sleep, which is a whole thing. But with hypnosis, you can be hypnotized for 2 hours and make it seem like several years. So that's a thing. That's another thing about stage 3 hypnosis. The time dilation is real. Like, in stage 2 hypnosis, there's noticeable time dilation. You may feel like you're in your mind for several hours and only be there for an hour or two. In stage 3 hypnosis, if you want to, you can be in that hypnotic state for 2 to 3 hours, and you can extend time even further to be days, weeks, months, or even years within that state. So that's a thing, so when people are saying that they're spending actual years that they perceive as years and have detailed memories of in their reality shifting states, that to me does not smack of lucid dreaming. It's true that you can create the illusion of years passing in a lucid dream. You can create the illusion of that, but the actual feeling of time really going day to day, this very detailed account of, March 23rd of my dream reality, or my desired reality, I did this, that, or the other. That to me smacks of stage 3 hypnosis. That to me definitely does not feel like lucid dreaming, because lucid dreaming does this editing thing where it basically cobbles together this collage of events that make you feel like a lot of time has passed, but it's not the day-to-day experience that a level 3 hypnotic state does. That being said, the vividness of their experience does point to lucid dreaming. So, it's one of the half, we don't really know yet. I'm still open to the possibility that they've completely created a unique mind state that is neither one. When I was experimenting with hypnosis when I first learned about it, and I was experimenting with lucid dreaming when I first learned about it, I was actually trying to create a new mind state that had all of the benefits of lucid dreaming and all of the benefits of hypnosis, where it'd be as vivid and controllable and flexible as lucid dreaming, and that I would be able to hear feedback from my subconscious mind right away, but I would also have the extended period of time and the ability to insta-trigger, just like stage 3 hypnosis. So that's the mind state I wanted to create And it'd be interesting if like some 14-year-olds on TikTok managed to do what I was trying to do 11 years ago. Not surprising, though. I mean, there's way more information out there about this kind of thing now than there was 11 years ago. And I'm still open, even if that isn't what they've done, to trying to achieve that state, especially now that I'm a little older, wiser, and more realistic with the goals that I'd want to achieve by creating such a state in the first place. But I think I've rambled on long enough about what hypnosis is. What it is a therapeutic method by which you are able to communicate things from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind, reliant on relaxation, focus, and induction methods. There are several methods: relaxation, counting, imagery, etc. And just make sure that when you're done with whatever your hypnotic script ends up being, that you release the technique properly and that you enjoy yourself. Don't overuse negative, reinforcement to get your way in your mind, because you don't want to bully your mind into doing things. You want to be your mind's friend. You want it to trust you. You want it to be receptive to your voice. So, torturing your mind into doing things is probably not the way to go. I tried to do a bunch of negative reinforcement. There was a bunch of bad habits I wanted to break. And doing that as often as I did actually destroyed my ability to do hypnosis for a very long time. I actually stopped being able to do hypnosis for years. I couldn't get into stage 2. I couldn't get past stage 1 because my mind didn't trust me anymore because I had tried to torture myself out of bad behaviors. The power you have in your mind is the power that your mind gives you. And so you want to be on your best behavior there. You want to be a good friend, to your mind. You only want to be tough on yourself when it is demonstrated, when it's like demonstrably helpful to be. There should be no doubt about whether or not you're helping yourself. There should be no doubt about whether or not you're yourself's friend when you do hypnosis. Because if you create doubt in your subconscious mind about your voice in your head, then your subconscious mind will reject you from your own head, and you'll become more resistant to doing hypnosis. So use a gentle guiding hand with your subconscious when you're experimenting with hypnosis. If you have to do negative reinforcement, bookend it with positive reinforcements. Be like, I'm so, make your mind understand that you're so happy that you've had the experience to go deeply into it. Reinforce, like, this is a very positive thing. This relaxed, focused state's very nice to be here. Make sure your subconscious knows that you appreciate it allowing you to have this peek behind the curtain into it. And then once if you have used this negative reinforcement, then afterwards use another positive reinforcement to build a positive habit that is the inverse of the negative habit that you're trying to dissuade. Because then you stand an even better chance. And yes, this will extend your session a bit, but I think it's best to be very careful when using negative reinforcement. Of course, there's always the slower route of just using positive reinforcement, which, if your problem is not this immediate, it's going to kill you or land you in jail thing, I definitely advise sticking to positive reinforcement. It's what I should have done back in the day, because my problems were not so big that I needed to torture myself to get rid of them, and if I had done the process right the first time, then I would be a much more powerful self-hypnotist today. I am just now starting to regain my ability to go into myself completely, because of that trust that I violated between my consciousness and myself. So you want to build up that trust with yourself. And now that I'm able to use hypnosis again, apparently, when I was experimenting with reality shifting, I didn't really know what would happen. I didn't know that I'd get into a deep stage 2, bordering on stage 3 hypnosis. And now that I know that I can again, definitely I'm going to experiment with hypnosis again, the right way this time. And maybe we can do that together next time. Anyways, this is the Blue Wizard signing out.